Hey there, I'm Lance and I'm a gamer.
And I'm Sam and I'm a non-gamer.
And we are Love to Hate, where we help gamers find great games to play with non-gamers.
And today we're taking a look at Pina Coladice by Iello.
Pina Coladice. This is a game in which it's kind of like a mashup of Yahtzee meets Connect 4. In this particular game, you are going to have these coaster-like tiles that make up the grid game board surface, and each one is going to have a different scoring metric that you're trying to accomplish. Think Yahtzee, because you're going to have things like a full house, 3 of a kind, 5 of a kind, that sort of thing. And you will get 3 rolls, and you try to get one of those different scoring conditions at the end of your turn, in which you get to place one of your drink tokens out there. And really what you're trying to do in this game is to get 21 points, or more preferably, try to connect 4, either vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. Let's go down to the table. I'll show you how this one works, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on it as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, I have Pina Coladice on the table. Let me show you all this mashup between Connect 4 and Yahtzee. And so what you have for components with this game, you're going to have lots of tiles. Now, these tiles are going to be like coasters. That's essentially the consistency of what these are. They are double-sided, as you can see. They're 2 sides. And you're going to know which side to use based on this icon down here. The setup that we have right here is a 3-player setup, because these tiles that have the circle filled in, they are going to make an X of sorts, filling in these parts in the middle and the corners, whereas these ones on the sides are going to have the circles not filled in. And what that essentially means is that this side is available only for 1 player, whereas this side right here is available for 2 players, as you can see with these 2 different options right here. So this is a 3-player setup. Some of the other components are going to be the 5 dice that you are going to be rolling throughout the course of the game. And your drink tokens, these are the red player's tokens, which I will be using to show you the rules, but here are the rest of the tokens in the game. Purple, orange, and green are the colors. Players are also going to have their own tile that is going to show their score, and there is a first player tile that will obviously be given to the first player. Now, these are not all the tiles in the game. You do have lots of tiles, so you're not going to be using all the tiles whenever you play the game. Now, how this game is going to work, it's very simple, starting with the first player, who is the person who has the first player tile. You're going to roll all 5 dice, and you would not be rolling it on the board here, but to save space, I'm going to roll the dice right here. And as is the case with Yahtzee, you can keep any dice that you have and re-roll any dice that you don't want to keep. And why would I keep anything? Well, so the different tiles out here show you the things that you're trying to achieve, such as this tile right here. I want a pair of 2s. This tile right here is a pair of 6s, pair of 3s, pair of 4s. The green tiles are generally pretty simple, but they also only pay out in 1 point values typically. Now this one right here is that I need 2 pair. 1 pair of something and another pair of something else, and that would pay out for 2 points. Now, the blue tiles tend to be ones that you need 3 dice to do, and you can see that right here with a 3 of a kind of 4s, a 3 of a kind of 2s, 3 of a kind of 1s. You get the idea. Where the pink tiles are going to be the most complicated. So this is, you need to have all odd value tiles, as you can see right there. And this is, you need to have all even, or excuse me, I got those backwards. You need to have all even, you need to have all odd. And then the other tiles right here, this one right here is going to be that you need to have a total of 12, 13, or 14 pips on all your dice that you end that round with. So I'm going to be able to choose whatever I'm going off of and lock in something after my first row. So let's say that maybe I keep these 4 right here because maybe I'm trying to go for this straight and I need to get a 5. Now, I can re-roll 2 more times after my first roll. And as is the case in Yahtzee, I could put back some of these that I kept from my first roll, rolling them again if I wanted to. And whatever I get at the end of my third roll, that is what I'm stuck with. Now, I am hopefully meeting the requirements for something out here because that's ultimately the idea with this game. As you can see, well, that was 2 2s before I screwed it up. I have 2 2s, and I could claim this tile right here, putting one of my drink tokens on the value that pays out the most. In this case, they both are 1, so it doesn't really matter. But now I have this tile, and I would increase my point using one of my drink markers here, 1 point on this marker, moving it forward. The idea is to be the player who is going to get to 20 points, and as you can see, you can go beyond that, and if anybody goes beyond 20 on the same round, then it's whoever has the most points. But you're trying to get to 20 points to be the winner. That is one way you can win the game. Another way you can win the game is if you do connect 4 out here, essentially, by getting 4 of your drink markers in a row, whether that be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. You get the idea if you've ever played Connect 4. Now, you do have a limited number of these drink markers. As you can see, you've got 4 out here and 2 extra because one of them is used as your tracking your points on your point tile right here. So you really only have 6 tokens to use. And if at the end of the game, nobody has completed Connect 4, putting out all 6 of their tiles, nobody's also gotten to 20 points, then it's whoever has the most points, and that person is going to be the winner. Now, you can play this happy hour mode, which is where you take this tile and you flip it over to the backside, and there's a variant here of what's going to happen. And what happens essentially is after your third roll of rolling the dice, if you don't have anything out here, then you're going to roll 1 die. And you may lose points if you roll a 1. You may gain points if you roll a 6. Some other things could happen to you, such as removing one of your tokens from a coaster that's out here, flipping a coaster to its other side. But basically, this is just some added chaos to the game. But again, that only happens if after your third roll, you don't have anything out here, and then you have to roll 1 die to see what happens. And that's essentially what you have here with Pina Coladice. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. And we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Pina Coladice from a gamer and non-gamer's perspective. So, Sam, first thing I want to ask you about this one is that it just, you know, I think the best way of putting this game is it's a mashup of Yahtzee and Connect 4. What do you think about that? What do you think about those 2 games? What do you think about this combination?
Yahtzee is probably the #1 kids, I mean, it's not really a kids game, but game I played as a kid.
Original dice rolling.
Yeah, and I played it all the time with my grandmother, so love that game. Connect 4, I mean, who doesn't know how to, you know, play that? So yeah, I'm a big fan of both of those. And
then you throw this game where you're trying to meet one of those different ways that you can score points and you know, the classic Yahtzee game, but you're trying to connect 4 in this sense, or you're just trying to get to 21 points, but you really want to try to connect 4 to win faster than that. What did you think about that concept?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to understand. There's a few times where I needed to clarify what the iconography, but it was pretty simple. I definitely think the 8+ age frame is probably appropriate. But it was pretty simple, but it definitely had a fun element to it.
Game moves pretty quick. The box says 10 minutes, and I think that's pretty accurate. You could play multiple times in one setting. In fact, we did in reviewing this. So, you know, the game, the metrics on the box are very true to what it says. Is it fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this game. I like how it does change with where the cards are located and everything. So it's not like a board where it would be the same. I think that honestly would make it pretty samey.
Right. And I think the best thing this game has going for it is how many of those coaster tiles are in this game, because there's a lot and you only use 16 each time you play. So you have a good mix to play with, lots of replayability with that. Okay, let's get to pros and cons here. The highlight bullet points that stand out in a positive way with this game. What would that be for you?
I mean, I think it's easy for everyone to play. Most people have played some version of Yahtzee, whether that's, with cards or with dice. You understand what, a straight and things like that are. And then Connect 4 is self-explanatory. So I think just in general, it's easy for gamers and non-gamers. It's probably not super deep or super heavy for a non-gamer or for a gamer, sorry, but I think it's a good, light, fun, quick game.
Yeah. I mean, if you know what to expect going into this, that it's not going to have abundant depth of strategy to it, that it's going to be luck because it's dice rolling, but there is strategy in trying to think, well, if I can line up those two, then maybe I can get a line here. There is maybe some small degrees of strategy with that. But no, I like the competition with this game too, because you're trying to compete for the different spots in the grid. And
you also have to work with what you have.
Exactly, yeah. And at lower player counts, those spots, it's only one person fills it up. Now, in the higher player counts, maybe you do have some that you could get the second spot on there, but you still want to try and get that. So there's still good competition with that. And I think that's a highlight that stands out with it. Anything that doesn't work so great for you with this game?
Now, we've only played with 2 people. When you play with 4, do you still only fit 16 cards out?
Yeah, it's still a 4x4.
I wonder how that would play. It feels like, because even with 2 people, you're competing for those spots. With 4 people, it really feels like you would never get 4 of a kind, which I know you can still win without doing that, but I wonder the frustration level for a non-gamer, if it would feel a little too much like...
Well, it's funny you say that, but every single one of our games ended with a Connect 4 before someone got to 21 points.
Yeah.
So I feel like the game is geared towards getting a Connect 4, and that 21 point threshold is just sort of well, here's another way you can win.
So do you also wonder how it would work with 4 people?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think we would have to try it, but I think, I don't know. I think they geared it to be where you are likely to get a Connect 4 more than you're not, but maybe I could be wrong on that. I don't know. To me, that's not so much a drawback with it. I feel like maybe the only drawback with it is that, you think of Yahtzee, you think of Connect 4. Those games are pretty shallow games. You throw 2 shallow games together, and it's the strategy level gets a little bit thicker.
Yeah, but it's not.
But this isn't like this isn't a world-breaking kind of game.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I feel like I can't rate it on the same level as some of our...
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too.
It's not a party game though, and it's not a children's game, which is kind of our other categories typically, but it is maybe on the same area as like card games.
Yes, I think that would probably a good way to think about it. Yeah. It's just it feels like one of those classic games. It doesn't feel like a more modern board game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That being said, let's get to our scores here for Pina Coladice. So scale of 1 to 10, love to hate. Where does this one come in at?
I mean, I really did like this game, and putting it in the category of smaller card-like games, I would go pretty high. I think a 7.5.
Okay, so you do like this one quite a bit then. Any particular reason, just because of how familiar it feels?
Yeah, I think I like a game that I feel confident in the first time, which is rare.
And I think you will absolutely experience that with this, is a sense of familiarity and confidence playing it, that you know exactly what's happening with the game. You'll get that right from the get-go, so that's a good thing about it. I think for me, the game is fine. It's not earth-shattering, but it's an enjoyable experience. It's probably not one that I would want to play over and over and over again once in a while. So for me, I think it's probably about a 6.8, which is, a fine score, fine game. But again, nothing crazy out of this world. So, but there you have it. That's our thoughts here on Pina Coladice. It is from Iello. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know what you think about this particular dice rolling game.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Liam.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.